Sup folks, StugeGG here with another episode of Tomboys Need Love Too. I believe we're up to episode 6. Big things that happened in the last one. We had to make the choice between Sophie or Chris because Sophie asked us out. Well, Chris was standing right there. We said, no, I can't go out with you. I wanted to actually ask Chris out. We didn't necessarily say what a date, but she immediately took it that way. On the way home, she decided we were already boyfriend and girlfriend. We didn't want to tell her mother, but she did. And then we quickly realized, yes, we actually do. So we told her. We were both so excited we couldn't sleep, so she came into our room, got naked again, and decided to sleep with us. Had a little bit of hanky-panky where she was, as I said, she got naked and pressed her back up against ours after pulling our shirt off. But that's as far as it went. So now we're waking up with her in the bed. We'll see how this goes. I was going to say, I was interested to see if the mother comes in while she's still here. But here we go. Despite the fact we both fell asleep around midnight, Chris and I woke up earlier than usual. By the time I opened my eyes, Chris was already fully clothed, and the warmth from my back had dissipated. Although that realization disappointed me, more than anything, I felt a sense of disbelief. The events of yesterday, through most of which I simply went with the flow, truly had transpired. That was kind of a weird sentence. I turned down Sophie. I invited Chris to go out on Saturday. She took it as more than a simple invitation between friends, and the next thing I knew, she was sleeping in my bed completely naked. Did yesterday really happen? I went through it all without much fuss at the time, but looking back, yesterday was actually pretty amazing. I mean, if I told my past self I turned down Sophie to go on a date with another girl, I'd slap myself silly. No, forget her. Sleeping in the same bed as Chris? Going out on a date? Having her strip in my room twice in one day? That's where things got crazy. Amazed by the sudden change in my own life, I watched Chris mindlessly as I zoned out, thinking about all the peculiarities of the past 24 hours. Once I returned to reality, however, I realized I was witnessing one more event worthy of note. While I was asleep, Chris had started to rummage through my belongings. What are you doing? Kai, what are you doing here? Is that a serious question? Come on. You've been up longer than I have. Wake up and explain. Oh, right. It's really nothing suspicious, okay? I definitely wasn't taking advantage of you being asleep to do anything sketchy. I didn't think you were until you said that. Are you looking for something? If you're trying to rob me, you should know that my game consoles are the only valuables I have. You really think I'd rob you? Forget it. If I leave it to your imagination, you're only going to reach worse and worse conclusions. The truth is, I was looking for your sports trophies. My trophies? Good luck finding those. I haven't won any of those in years. Oh, believe me, I know. Now that I'm a high school student, I need to spend my time studying, not playing sports. Why should I kick a soccer ball around when I could be going on dates with hot girls? Forget baseball, you're looking at the king of geometry. Please stop. Aw, but there's so many more where those came from. You were such a dweeb, Kai. Yeah, well, you didn't exactly live up to your childhood aspirations either, you know? In fact, I clearly remember several declarations that you made upon entering high school. Uh-oh. Remember this face, Kai. By the time I finish high school, it's going to be plastered all over the front page of every sports magazine in the world. No, really, it's genetic. My mom told me that she was flat as a board, too, all the way until her senior year of high school, and then bam, 3 cup sizes in 6 months. So what if I was confessed to by a girl? I'd rather die than wear a skirt. I get your point. Let's not play this game anymore, okay? Aw, there's so many more where those came from. I was mistaken. None of those things happened. I must have remembered wrong. Though, come to think of it, I do remember a certain young boy trying out pickup lines on his teacher. No, you don't. Are you sure about that? I could have sworn that Trophies, right? You were saying something about trophies? Indeed I was. Phew. I breathed a sigh of relief as Chris consented to abandoning our regretful line of conversation. While there were many moments that we shared in the past, being childhood friends meant that Chris and I also knew of many embarrassing and troublesome periods in each other's lives. Needless to say, I had more than my fair share of cringeworthy experiences best left forgotten, and plenty like this past week. So, any idea where your old trophies and stuff are? I can see that you still have some sports gear lying around, but I couldn't find what I was after. Not really. Mom might know, but I stopped caring about that junk ages ago. Why do you want to see my old trophies anyway? Just a whim. I was thinking about how you suddenly stopped playing. I was curious to see if you still kept your old trophies around. Nah, even if they're still in this house, they aren't in my bedroom. I threw out most of that stuff ages ago. Mom might have kept things like trophies, but for the most part... Yeah? You threw your sports gear out? Why did you do that? I would have happily accepted it. You wanted my old shin guards and soccer boots? Yeah. But they wouldn't even fit you. So, I would have grown into them by now. Ah, you're right. I guess you would have. Or do you really keep all that stuff around for years, waiting to grow into it? Well, I can't say I would have kept all of it. What about my mouth guard? Or my cup? Would you have kept those? Don't be gross. Of course I wouldn't have. I'm just saying that there was bound to be something I could have used. Chucking most of it out was a huge waste. Yeah, you're right about that. I don't know where this conversation's going. Sports gear goes for a decent amount online, as long as it's in good condition. That's really not where I was going with this. Anyway, if they aren't in here, then I guess there's no point in continuing my search. I'm a little disappointed you discard your old trophies, but I suppose that's to be expected. You really think I still have them lying around? I knew it was a long shot, but I figured there was at least a chance. After all, you obviously peaked in middle school. Why wouldn't you want to relive your glory days? Hey, I haven't peaked just yet. I'm only 18. You say that, but where's the proof? I can't even remember the last time I saw you with a baseball mitt on, or a cricket bat in your hand. That doesn't mean I couldn't play them again. I just haven't been active for a while, that's all. Is that right? Chris smirked happily as I dug myself into a deeper and deeper hole. I had played right into her trap. In that case, prove it. During lunch today, we'll play half-court basketball, just me and you, one-on-one, first to 20 points. Calling it now, this is going to be hanky-panky, either in the locker room, or a lot of Japanese schools have like an equipment room. It's going to be hanky-panky. I'm saying the words hanky-panky multiple times. Okay. But during lunch today, we'll play half-court basketball, just me and you, one-on-one, first to 20 points. Oh, and the loser has to pay for our date tomorrow. Hey, that's not fair. I've been out of sports for years now, but you never stop playing. There's no way I'll win. Oh? What's the matter? Are you afraid of getting your butt kicked by a girl? No, I'm afraid of getting my butt kicked by a girl in front of dozens of spectators. Oh, come on. Who cares what they think? If anyone makes fun of you, I'll just have to kick their ass too. Somehow I get the feeling that I should be the one stepping up to defend you, not the other way around. But you know what? I think I might be up for this after all. Really? Sure, why not? It's been a while since we played any kind of sport together. I figured I'd get roped into paying for our date anyway, so you're on. Having started out our Friday morning with such lively banter, I knew that the rest of the day was going to be fun. Chris was filled with her usual enthusiasm and lack of reservation. She was her normal self despite the fact that our relationship had supposedly changed. Even after events like us sharing a bed last night, we could still play together and hang out as friends without it being awkward. Our friendship remained completely intact, and honestly, that knowledge filled me with far more joy than the prospect of becoming a couple. I was worried that becoming a couple would make things awkward between Chris and I, but we can still joke around like usual, and it seems my fears were unnecessary. Even if I don't know what I really want in my relationship with Chris, what is clear to me now is that I don't want to lose what we already have. As long as our friendship is impacted, and we're still able to act natural around one another without hesitation, this really might be the best path forward. After a somewhat awkward breakfast, during which the comments and giggles from my mother dyed my face crimson, Chris and I walked to school together side by side. Although we didn't go as far as holding hands, we were undoubtedly closer than usual in terms of proximity. One of the few times we brushed up against one another, only to laugh it off a moment later. Once we reached school, Chris and I further toned things down, mindful of the gazes of others. We entered our classroom and made our way to our desk, at which point Chris breathed a heavy sigh. Man, why can't it be Saturday already? I'm a patient person, but even I have my limits. Chris, school hasn't even started yet. And besides, isn't there something else you should be looking forward to first? Something else? Don't play dumb. If you want out, just say so. But if you do forfeit, you'll be paying for our date tomorrow. Right, I almost forgot about that. Come on, hurry up and meet lunchtime already. You really aren't as patient as you claim. The hell I'm not. I'm only being impatient now because it took so freaking long for us to get to this point. If you'd asked me out sooner, we wouldn't be in this situation. Boy, you can't really blame me for that. You could have asked me out yourself, you know. You need to wait for me to ask. I'm not so sure about that. Chris looked past me as she spoke. I followed Chris's gaze while pondering on her words, and the moment I spotted the target of her glare, I understood what she meant. Yes, we're looking at Sophie. Good morning, Kai. Morning, Sophie. Are you ready for the weekend? It's too soon to celebrate just yet, but Fridays always feel a little special, don't they? You can say that again. I live for the weekend. You don't say. Speaking of this weekend, what's going on here? Speaking of this weekend, if you have some free time, I was thinking that we... Don't even try. You know perfectly well that Kai has plans with me this weekend. Refusing to be ignored by Sophie yet again, Chris spoke up. Oh, Christine, you're here? I didn't notice you there. Yeah, right. Anyway, stop trying to butt in. Kai and I have plans and they don't involve you. How mean. I never said anything about joining the two of you. You may have forgotten this, Chris, but there are actually 2 days in the weekend. So even if you have plans with Kai on Saturday, surely you're not going to force yourself on him 2 days in a row, are you? Are you trying to pick a fight with me? No, not at all. What kind of violent brute would go around picking fights just because they didn't like what someone said? Such a person could hardly be considered a proper woman, don't you agree? You slimy little... Seeing Chris's clenched fist shaking by her sides, I decided to step in. Now, let's not say anything we might regret. Sophie, you were saying something about this Sunday? Yes, that's right. I recalled some vague plans you mentioned having on Saturday with some random person, but then I realized you might be free on Sunday instead. So I was thinking that, if you're not busy, perhaps you would accompany me for a while? As a friend, of course. I know you and Chris are dating, and I wouldn't want to make things awkward between you. But even normal friends hang out together, don't they? Well, you're right about that. I don't have any plans for Sunday. If it's just as friends, then... Kai, may I speak to you in private for a moment? Yeah, this is Kai, don't be dumb. Like I said, there might be an ending that somehow ends up with both girls. That sometimes happens in games like this, but that's not realistic. I'm trying to shoot for that. I don't think it's going to work. Before I could give my answer, Chris interrupted me. Huh? But I'm in the middle of... Oh. Dragging me by the ear, Chris led me out of the classroom. Hey, what do you think you're doing? That should be my line. We've only been a couple for a day, and you're already making plans with other girls? Only to hang out together. 2 friends can spend time together without it being anything devious. Now, when one of those 2 is her... Kai, please, just think about this from my perspective for a moment. Tomorrow's supposed to be our first date. How do you think it feels to hear you already making plans with the girl you've been lusting after for months? Even if you don't have any ulterior motives, it still makes me a bit jealous. Jealous? Yeah, you heard me, I'm jealous, okay? I've been listening to you talk about girls you had crushes on for years, and even now when we're finally going out, one of them is still on your mind. Why can't you think about me as much as you think about them? Is it too much to ask for you to treat me that way? I'm your girlfriend now, right? So you should only be paying attention to me. Forget about Sophie. Forget about all those other girls. You're the only boy I ever think about, Kai. Is it wrong for me to want to be the only girl that you think about? Ooh. That is, oof. I felt the sharp pain pierce my chest as Chris pleaded with me. Even if I didn't agree with her on every point, it was clear that the thought of me spending time with Sophie, even as friends, was hurting Chris. Seeing Chris once again enduring unnecessary pain for my sake, I could only give in to her heartfelt plea. See, here's the point where I would tell Chris, my now girlfriend, exactly what happened between me and Sophie in the women's restroom. And explain to her how I think Sophie is being, assaulted, or was assaulted, and that she actually probably does need someone to be nice to her. So maybe you and Chris could, or like the 2 of you could be that. Even though I feel like maybe Sophie does have some ulterior motives and may not be that nice of a person, you can still try to be nice to her. But I don't know. I'm sorry, Chris. You're right. You're absolutely right. Even if I'm new to this whole relationship thing, that's no excuse for being tactless. And the last thing I want to do is make you feel uneasy. If you don't want me to spend any more time with Sophie, just say the word. I'll turn her down without hesitation. Kai, do you really mean that? Of course. I like Sophie, and I want to be friends with her, but if I have to choose between the 2 of you, then it's no contest. If having her around makes you feel uneasy, consider her gone. Kai. Chris smiled softly as I responded to her worries. In truth, I didn't want to turn Sophie away. After what happened to her and what she confided in me, I felt obligated to help her and to befriend her in her time of need. On the other hand, Sophie had lied to me. She made me suspect Chris of something terrible, and there was a small part of me that couldn't forgive her for that. So Sophie, so she did lie? That wasn't the assumption we had before. I'm guessing we're just taking that as fact now? And of course, above all else, befriending Sophie would negatively impact on my relationship with Chris. No matter what I felt for Sophie, I would turn her away. I appreciate you saying that. I know how long you've waited for an opportunity like this, and it means a lot to me that you turn her down 2 days in a row for my sake. Okay, hold on. Maybe I accidentally hit the auto button, because it wasn't moving. I think if you auto it, you don't have to click to go through. Okay. So, for that reason, I retract my earlier statement. You what? Kai, I'm sorry for asking something so unreasonable. You don't have to be that mindful of me. You can be friends with whoever you want. Are you sure? If you don't want me to spend time with Sophie, I'm fine with turning her down. I'd be lying if I said that wouldn't make me happy, but I don't want you to think that you can't have friends unless I approve of them. I just got a bit anxious when I heard Sophie trying to make plans with you. My insecurities got the best of me, and I said something I shouldn't have. So, I'm happy that you'd go that far for my sake, but you should be friends with whoever you want. I don't want to become the kind of jealous, controlling woman who can't trust her boyfriend. With surprisingly considerate, polite words, Chris gave my friendship with Sophie her blessing. So, okay, this might actually work out to where we can still maybe help Sophie, recover, be a better person, and not screw up with Chris. Baffled by her maturity, I stared at Chris vacantly for a moment, almost unable to believe that the one who said such things was really Chris. It would seem that, despite her being by her side for so many years, there were still things I didn't know about Chris. Why don't you dare do anything that you wouldn't do with a male friend, okay? If you two so much as hold hands, I'm going to beat you both into the ground. There's the usual Chris. After a few more quiet words between the two of us, Chris and I returned to the classroom. We walked over to her desk, at which point Sophie approached us once more. Sorry about the wait. We just need a brief intermission.
Oh, no, not at all. So, did you come to a conclusion? Well, I don't need an immediate answer. I'd prefer to know sooner rather than later.
It's fine. I won't drag this out. Oh, so we're still going to refuse? I didn't think that was going to happen. Okay, sorry, Sophie, but I'll have to refuse.
Oh, I see.
Hearing my response, Sophie glanced towards Chris.
Hey, don't look at me like that. This is Kai's decision, not mine.
I said we could have still gone out with her as a friend. Whatever, I don't know what's going on anymore.
If you say so.
That was wrong, boys. With clear disappointment and a faint hint of hostility, Sophie turned away and returned to her desk. As she was about to take her seat, Sophie turned her head and glared at Chris once more and then sat down.
Geez, what's with that girl?
It's bad enough that she invites someone else's boyfriend out. Isn't it too much to then get angry when she's turned down?
Why is she getting angry at me? She's clearly the one in the wrong here.
I don't know. Maybe Sophie just doesn't trust other girls. I wouldn't blame her given what's happened.
What happened? What do you mean, Kai? Do you know something?
Yes, tell her the truth. Crap. No, I wouldn't say that I know something. It's just, look, she cut her hair really short, right? And the same day, almost all of the other girls in class went missing. Even now, most of them are suspended. We don't know why. But I was thinking, maybe she was the victim of bullying or something.
Huh? Is that right?
Chris stared at me skeptically.
That's certainly a possibility. No, more than that, it's actually a pretty good theory. But if just a theory, then why did you make it sound like you knew for a fact what had happened?
I followed her in the face of Chris' intense scrutiny. Although she was usually fairly carefree and easygoing, there were moments when I felt like she could see right through me. Tell the truth, dude.
Well, Kai, how can you be so certain?
Did you see or hear something to make you think that way? I nervously glanced around the classroom. After passing straight over Sophie, my eyes landed on two of the remaining girls, both of whom had spoken to Sophie upon her return and appeared to know what had gone on. Without a moment's hesitation, I looked back and forth between those girls and Chris, then nodded my head in that direction.
You heard from them?
I nodded in confirmation. Why am I lying? I nodded in confirmation. I overheard them before Sophie showed up yesterday. Remember how they were surprised to see her, right? That reaction wasn't just because of her new haircut.
Huh? You don't say?
Chris stared at the two girls.
Bullying, huh? I don't buy it.
Huh? What do you mean? I'm telling you that's what I heard.
I'm not saying that I don't believe you, Kai. What I find hard to believe is the notion of Sophie getting bullied by other people in our class.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised too. I didn't want to think that our classmates would do such a thing, but from the look of it...
No, that isn't what I meant. What I'm saying is I don't think it was bullying. If those girls did something to Sophie, chances are it was a retaliation.
Retaliation?
For what?
For what? What do you think she did?
What else? You've heard the rumors, Kai. You know what they say about her. Actually, thinking about it now, maybe I shouldn't have said I was okay with you befriending her after all.
Although it's sad that even Chris arbitrarily believed the worst about Sophie, I didn't hold it against her. For so many people to believe such a thing, there's bound to be some driving force behind the rumors. Not necessarily proof, but definitely something to fuel such malicious talk. And truth be told, after hearing it so many times and seeing the way Sophie tried to rile up Chris, not to mention accusing Chris of being involved in such a thing, I was beginning to believe it myself. I don't know if it's all like it's everyone's saying those rumors about her, so that makes them start to become true, and she starts to act that way. I don't know, I still feel like you should be nice to her. I just don't know, man. Yawn. Is it time to go home yet? Don't we have the basketball thing? This day just keeps dragging on.
Look alive, Kai. You'll never beat me if you're like that. Get your game face on and let's go.
The moment class ended, Chris suddenly sprang to life. It was now lunchtime, and with our bet fresh in her mind, Chris was raring to go. Yawn. You go first, I'll catch up. Just give me another 5 minutes and I'll be right there.
fold my arms to the desk in front of me, and rest my forehead on my arms. Oh no you don't. Seconds after I put my head down, I felt my earlobe being torn from my body. I was forcibly dragged to my feet. Ouch! What did you do that for? Prevent you from standing me up. I don't care if you're getting cold feet. I already booked the court during our last break, so it's too late to forfeit. Like I would stand you up. And why my ear again? That really hurt. Because pulling on your ear is a great way to inflict pain without leaving any bruises. I'm beginning to think I may have just entered into an abusive relationship. Oh, quit whining. I know better than anyone that sometimes you need a kick in the balls to get going. That is not how that saying goes. Really? Well, whatever. If you don't get moving, I'm still going to put it to the test. Oh, for the love of... I get it already. I'm going. That's the spirit. In response to Chris's not-so-gentle prodding, I stood up and started walking out of the classroom. Alongside Chris, who was still grinning cheerfully, I reluctantly headed towards the gym. Man, you really are forceful, you know that? You're lucky you have a cute face. That kind of violence would drive anyone away. Are you praising me or insulting me? A bit of both. Well, see what you want. I only did that because it was necessary. If you try that kind of stunt tomorrow, I won't hesitate to come over your house and take you outside by force. I don't doubt it. But you won't have to worry about that. Even I wouldn't try to pull something like that tomorrow of all days. Sweating. I'm well aware of the pain and suffering that would await me if I did. Damn straight. Now come on, let's get moving. I'm going to whip you so badly that you'll be paying for every single date we ever go on. With the court already reserved, Chris and I wasted a little time before jumping into action. Chris borrowed a basketball team uniform from one of her friends and quickly got changed. Meanwhile, I put on my PE uniform, then met up with Chris on the court. After some light stretching, the two of us faced off and the match begun. Come on, Kai. How could you miss that shot? Shut up. I almost had it before you got in the way. What do you expect me to do? I'm your opponent, you know? No mercy, huh? I should have expected as much. Chris caught the rebounding ball and ran to the halfway line. I gave chase and attempted to halt her advance. Oh no, Kai's got me. Whatever shall I do? I guess I better just give up. There's no way I could possibly... Psych! What? Chris tossed the ball over my head. While I was looking up and trying to block it, she ran around my side, then took possession of the ball once more after it had bounced. Yeah, she can't do that. That's against the rules. Hey, you can't do that. Sure I can. It may not work in a real game, but if it's one-on-one, it's a perfectly feasible move. No, you're cheating. She is cheating, and I don't appreciate it. The cheater. Still running as she spoke, Chris jumped up and tossed the ball from the three-point line. I caught up to her after the ball had already left her hand, just in time to watch it descend through the ring. Woohoo, nothing but net. Damn it. I jogged over the ball and took hold of it. Don't get cocky, this isn't over yet. That's the spirit, Kai. Come on, show me what you can do when you get serious. I ran forward while dribbling the ball. When Chris intercepted me, I quickly threw the ball between her legs and ran around her side. As I attempted to reclaim possession of the ball, however, I found that I was a second too late. What? How did you... Nice try, but you really think that would work on me? Chris grabbed the ball before I could and dashed for the halfway line. Once you reached the halfway line, she stopped and waited for me to catch up, so the two of us would face off once again. What are you going to do, Kai? The score is 19-2 my way. One more point and this game is mine. Don't talk like you've already won. Mark my words, I will make you pay for our date tomorrow. And stop talking and do it. Chris bounced the ball between my legs, pulling the same maneuver that I had moments ago. But unlike my attempt, Chris's ended in success. She reclaimed the ball in no time and swiftly took her shot, once again scoring on her first attempt. And that's 20. Looks like tomorrow's on you after all, Kai. Chris puffed her chest out and grinned cheekily as she proclaimed victory. That was just a warm-up. One more game, double or nothing. Hearing my declaration, Chris didn't sign exasperation, nor did she call me a sore loser. Instead, she laughed happily with clear joy painted all over her face. With pleasure. Oh, I was wrong. I thought there was gonna be some hanky-panky at the gym or in the locker room or something. Just kill me now and be done with it. How can you still be tired? We finished playing well over an hour ago. Wasn't during lunch break? Okay, I mean, how long is their afternoon class? Only a little bit over an hour? Doesn't change. Lack of stamina. With my only daily exercise being the walk to and from school, I knew all too well how unfit I had become. I feel you there, man. And today in particular, it showed. After running myself ragged on the court for half an hour, I was sweating profusely and struggling to breathe. I didn't even want to think about how I looked by the end of the break. Geez, Kai, you're more out of shape than I thought. Maybe you shouldn't have pushed yourself so hard after not exercising for the last, 3 years. And let you win, not a chance. It's good to be a little bit competitive, but you can do irreparable damage to your body if you overexert yourself. Maybe we should work on your fitness a bit before doing something like that again. When you say we, you don't mean... Yes, I do. From this day onward, Kai, I'll be your new coach. No, that's really not necessary. Sure it is. You're clearly on a fast track to a heart attack. As your girlfriend, it's my responsibility to keep you alive and healthy for as long as possible. You're already using your relationship as an excuse to control me? We haven't even... Any complaints? No, ma'am. Good, then it's settled. After school, every Monday through Thursday from now on, I'm going to run you into the ground. Prepare yourself, Kai. Clearly abusing her new authority as my girlfriend, Chris sends me to 4 days of physical activity per week for the foreseeable future. While Chris stated that it was for my own health, I doubted that was the case, and for my part, I wasn't as reluctant as I claimed to be either. Because as exhausting as it was to play against Chris today, I had a lot of fun, and I would have to be blind to not notice that the same went double for her. My sentence was a blessing for both of us. It was an excuse for Chris and I to repeat the fun we had today at our own leisure and without any spectators. When I thought about it like that, I realized that maybe having my girlfriend be my coach might not be a bad thing after all. She calls her mom, it's so weird. Mom, I'm home. Mom, Hey, that was my line. No, wait. What are you even doing here, Chris? I thought you were supposed to go home today. Nope, change of plans. Uh-oh. I looked at my parents' flight earlier and it seems it's been delayed. They won't be back until tomorrow night. Oh boy. Now we've got time for more hanky-panky. You wait until now to tell me? Before I could probe any further, my mother entered the room. Welcome back, you two. Did anything fun happen in school today? Sure did. During lunch today, I totally kicked Kai's butt. Oh my. What happened? Did you catch him leering at another girl? No, nothing like that. If I did, he wouldn't be standing here right now. I flinched unconsciously as Chris glared at me. Actually, it wasn't something bad at all. Kinda I played basketball at school and I totally whooped him. I could see that happening. But even with a full team of people behind him, Kai was still no match for you. Team of people? No, Kai and I were just playing one-on-one during our lunch break. Seriously? I thought my mother looked at me worriedly. Well, Kai, honey, are you alright? Do you need to see a doctor? Oh, haha, very funny. No, this is no laughing matter. Sudden changes in behavior can be attributed to all kinds of illnesses. For Kai, he usually only runs when he has to go to the toilet to be playing basketball of his own free will. Mom! Kai, she's got you pegged. Aw, jeez. Fine, make fun of me all you want. I'm going for a shower. While Chris and my mother continued to talk, I headed to my room and grabbed a change of clothes. I then went in for a quick shower and got changed, after which I returned to my bedroom and flopped down on my bed. Much better. As I rested on my bed, the fatigue from earlier quickly consumed me. I closed my eyes and slowed my breathing. Before I knew it, hours had passed and the sky outside had grown dark. Whoops, I can't afford to do that just yet. If I fall asleep now, I'll screw up my body clock for tomorrow. I wouldn't want to be yawning all throughout my first date. Comfortable as I was, I forced myself to get up and head downstairs. Upon entering the kitchen, I noticed that my mom was nowhere to be seen. Despite that, there was still a faint aroma tickling my nose. I looked around the kitchen trying to locate the source of the scent, but before I could... Hungry Kai? Excuse me. Oh god. Hungry Kai? Whoa. Chris, you scared the hell out of me. Sorry. With Chris now in front of me, I took another look around the room, careful not to miss any other human presences. But even on the second pass, I couldn't see anyone else there. What are you doing down here, Chris? And where's dinner? Don't tell me. Yep, you slept right through it. Oh, come on. Thanks for waking me up. Now, no need to get angry. Your mother went to bed early. Seems like she'll be going out all day tomorrow. Oh, she's gonna be gone all day? Come on, I know what, you know what that's setting up, right? They didn't come back from their date and the mother's gonna be gone. Her parents aren't gonna be back yet. Oh boy. But before that, she did make enough for 3. Sit down, I'll heat it up for you. Thank you. I was worried that there might not be any left. We don't need to go that far. I said sit down. Yes, ma'am. Oh, he's whipped already. Intimidated by Chris's forcefulness, I did as she commanded and sat down at the table. The moment I did, a smile immediately returned to Chris's face. She then turned around, opened up the oven, and started reheating dinner in the microwave. All the dinner preparation was simple enough. I could have easily handled it myself if Chris had let me. When dinner was ready and Chris returned to my side, it became clear why she wanted to perform the preparation herself. Aww, isn't this cute? Aww. Did I accidentally skip something? No, okay. Okay, Kai, say ah. I'm not a baby, Chris. I can eat by myself.
Oh, right. Here you are, dear. Eat up while it's still warm.
Rather than take a step back after placing the plate in front of me, Chris swiftly sat down on my lap. Okay. She then grabbed my spoon, scooped up some of the food on my plate, and brought it to my mouth.
Chris, stop it. This is embarrassing.
It's just us here, Kai. There's no need to get embarrassed.
Even if we're the only ones here, that doesn't mean it isn't embarrassing.
Without showing any sign of backing down, Chris continued to hold the spoon next to my mouth. I sighed in resignation. Both hungry and a little flustered, I opened my mouth wide, giving Chris the opportunity she saw.
How is it, dear?
It's good.
Really?
Chris smiled happily and scooped up another spoonful.
Did you make this?
Nope, this was all your mother's work.
Okay, now open wide, dear.
Though perplexed by Chris's willingness to take pride in someone else's cooking, I didn't say anything. I simply opened my mouth and allowed her to feed me, deriving far more pleasure from the act than I'd care to admit.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, but you still need to close your mouth when you chew. Look, you're getting food everywhere.
Oh no. I was going to say something like that was going to happen. Rather than pouring out the food that I supposedly missed, Chris stuck out her tongue and licked my cheek.
What? Chris, what do you think you're doing?
Cleaning up? With a faint blush on her face, Chris continued to smile innocently as I brought my hand to my cheek.
Now open wide, there's still plenty more where that came from.
Oh, come on, give me a break. You aren't planning on doing this for every bite, are you?
Of course I am. Now open your mouth before I force it open.
Despite her violent words, Chris continued to smile cheerfully. Sighing once more, I moved my hand from my cheek and placed it on Chris's lap. Oh boy. Oh boy. I then moved my other hand to her waist and wrapped it around her, loosely cradling her body in my arms.
Kai, what are you doing?
Several pitches higher than a moment ago, Chris asked in a panic.
Just making sure you don't fall.
Come on, honey, we aren't done yet, are we? I opened my mouth and waited for Chris to feed me. Seeing that and hearing how I addressed her, Chris widened her eyes for a moment, then straightened up excitedly and brought the spoon to my mouth once more.
Of course not. There's plenty more where that came from.
I gratefully accepted another mouthful and watched Chris's elated expression as I began to chew. It was embarrassing and a bit of work, but I couldn't say that I was displeased. After all, the food was tasty, and watching Chris express her joy always filled me with energy, so I really had nothing to complain about. But any regret, it was that we couldn't do this more often.
Now you're getting it. There's no need to rush, dear. After this is dessert, so there's still plenty more where that came from.
I stared at Chris in disbelief. Are you kidding me?
Nope, after this is chocolate cake and ice cream.
And you're going to feed me that too?
Of course I will.
I hang my head in defeat. Careful what you wish for, huh?
Don't worry, Kai. It's okay. You'll run it off when we start training on Monday.
The calories aren't the only problem here. Humph.
Gotcha.
The moment I screamed in protest, Chris forced the spoon into my mouth. It would seem that escape was not an option. The only way to get out of the situation was to eat whatever Chris fed me, then discreetly vomit it into the toilet later. Alright, I can do this. Do your worst, Chris. I can take it. Seeing no better alternative, I ate every last bite. With my plate clear, Chris soon brought out the dessert. Then sat down on my lap once more and brought the spoon to my mouth. I swallowed the last of my hesitation and opened my mouth prepared to face death head on for the sake of my girlfriend's happiness. Okay, so it's the next morning and we're going to go ahead and call this episode here. Obviously not a ton happened in this one. It was kind of cute. Sophie, you know, obviously did the thing where she came up. I thought that was gonna be like a choice, but apparently not. We're all in, so sorry Sophie, you're out of luck, and apparently things are a little bit shadier than her than initially thought. But we'll see how that goes. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and leave a like, share the video, or subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do any of those. I keep saying this, but I'm guessing we've got to be close to the end, right? We're going out on it's Saturday, we're going out on our date. Her parents should come home tomorrow, our mother's out all day. Culmination here, there's probably maybe like one or two choices to make that determine if we end up, if it's an ending where, you know, we're with her. I don't know if it's like a marriage ending, even though we're both 18, or like it just turns out we agree to be friends or something like that. Because like I said, I think the endings are, you know, friends with Chris, more than friends with Chris. I don't know if it's like in love with Chris, that kind of ending, but I know there's one. I accidentally kind of saw one clip from a Sophie ending while I was trying to pull smart assets for the game. And that ending, I'll show you guys that one. I'm a little bit hesitant to once I get to that one, once I figure out how to get there. It was pretty extreme, we'll say. But I didn't catch like what the story purpose of it was. I basically just saw the image of what was going on, and yeah, it's a little bit extreme. But we'll get there when we get there. Feel free to leave comments below on anything or everything. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, please have a great day.